If you truly want to change your life, you must first be willing to change your thinking. Poverty is not just a condition of the wallet, it's a condition of the mind. And until you confront that truth, nothing on the outside will permanently improve. You see, being poor is not simply about lacking money. It's about habits, choices, and philosophies that quietly shape your life day after day. It's about settling for less than you are capable of. It's about postponing discipline and embracing comfort. And the tragedy is most people don't even realize they are doing it. You cannot build a life of wealth on a foundation of excuses. If you blame the economy, your boss, your background, or your circumstances, you give away your power. And once your power is gone, so is your progress. Successful people do not wait for conditions to improve. They improve themselves, and conditions follow. The question is not, why am I here? The better question is, what am I doing that keeps me here? Because income rarely exceeds personal development. If you want more money, you must become more valuable. It's not about wishing for a better paycheck, it's about becoming a person who earns it. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your job may pay you a salary, but your growth determines your future. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And if you stop growing, you stay exactly where you are, financially, mentally, and emotionally. Now listen carefully. Discipline is the bridge between poverty and prosperity. The small things you ignore today become the big problems tomorrow. Skipping a book, wasting time, avoiding responsibility. These seem harmless in the moment, but over time, they build a life you never intended to live. Success is not built in a day, but neither is failure. Both are the result of repeated actions. So if you want to stop being poor, you must begin with your daily habits. Wake up with purpose. Manage your time with intention. Guard your mind from negativity. Invest in knowledge. And most importantly, follow through. Because ideas are worthless without action. You can listen to motivation all day long, but if you don't apply it, nothing changes. Knowledge alone does not change your life. Applied knowledge does. You must become a person of execution. And here is something most people don't want to hear. It's going to be uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. But so is staying broke. So is living a life you know you are capable of improving. You get to choose your discomfort. Would you rather face the temporary pain of discipline or the lifelong pain of regret? Because regret is expensive. It costs you your dreams, your confidence, and your potential. Now, let's talk about value. The marketplace pays for value. Not intentions, not wishes, not effort alone, but value. The more you bring to the table, the more you earn. It's that simple. So instead of asking, how can I make more money? Ask, how can I become more valuable? Learn a skill. Improve your communication. Develop your mindset. Strengthen your discipline. These are assets no one can take from you. And once you have them, your financial life will begin to reflect them. But remember this, wealth is not just about earning, it's also about keeping and growing. If you earn more but spend everything, you are still poor. If you lack financial discipline, more money will only magnify your problems. You must learn to manage money wisely. Save a portion. Invest a portion and spend with intention, not emotion. Because financial freedom is not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. Now let's address something deeper. Your environment matters. If you surround yourself with people who lack ambition, who complain, who settle, you will slowly become like them. But if you surround yourself with thinkers, learners, doers who will rise, you don't drift into success, you drift into failure. Success requires direction. It requires decision. It requires a clear vision of where you want to go and who you want to become. So define your goals. Write them down. Look at them every day. Let them guide your actions. Because without a target, effort is wasted. And here's the final truth. No one is coming to rescue you. Your life is your responsibility. Your results are your responsibility. Your future is your responsibility. And that's not bad news, it's powerful news. Because it means you have control. You can change your habits. You can change your mindset. You can change your direction. And when you do, your life will begin to change. But it starts with a decision. A decision that you are no longer willing to live below your potential. A decision that you will no longer tolerate excuses. A decision that you will take full ownership of your life. And once you make that decision, everything else becomes possible. So stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop settling. Start growing. Learning. Start doing, because the life you want is not out of reach, it's just on the other side of who you are willing to become. Most people believe that money is the starting point of wealth, but in reality, it is the result. The true beginning lies in how you think. If your mindset remains unchanged, even a sudden increase in income will not last. You might experience temporary relief, but sooner or later, your habits and beliefs will bring you back to where you started. That's why lasting financial improvement always begins internally before it ever shows up externally. Your thoughts shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your life. If you constantly think in terms of scarcity, believing there is never enough, fearing risk, avoiding responsibility, you will naturally make choices that keep you stuck. You might hesitate to learn new skills, delay taking action, or settle for comfort instead of growth. Over time, these small decisions accumulate and create a life that reflects limitation rather than opportunity. On the other hand, when you begin to think in terms of growth and possibility, your actions start to change. You begin to ask better questions. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you can build. This shift may seem simple, but it has powerful consequences. It moves you from a passive mindset to an active one, from reacting to life to shaping it. One of the most important changes you can make is taking full responsibility for your current situation. This is not about blame, but about ownership. When you accept that your life is largely the result of your past choices, you also accept that your future can be shaped by new choices. That realization is incredibly empowering. It means you are not trapped, you are in control. However, changing your mindset is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Your environment, your past experiences, and even the people around you can reinforce old ways of thinking. That's why you must be intentional about what you allow into your mind. The books you read, the conversations you engage in, and the content you consume all play a role in shaping your perspective. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, doubt, and limitation, it becomes difficult to think differently. But when you feed your mind with ideas of growth, discipline, and possibility, your thinking begins to evolve. Another key element is understanding that comfort can be the enemy of progress. Many people remain in situations that do not serve them simply because they are familiar. They avoid change because it feels uncertain. But growth requires stepping into discomfort. It requires trying new things, making mistakes, and learning along the way. If your mindset is focused on avoiding discomfort, you will also avoid the very opportunities that could improve your life. You must train yourself to see challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones. Every difficulty carries a lesson, and every lesson, when applied, moves you forward. This doesn't mean the process will be easy, but it does mean it will be worthwhile. Over time, you begin to build resilience, confidence, and a stronger sense of direction. It's also important to recognize that your beliefs about money itself can either support or limit you. If you believe that wealth is only for a select few, or that money is inherently negative, you will unconsciously resist the very thing you say you want. But when you start to see money as a tool, something that reflects value, effort, and contribution, you begin to approach it differently. You become more open to learning, earning, and managing it wisely. Changing your mindset also involves shifting from short-term thinking to long-term vision. Many poor decisions come from the desire for immediate gratification spending instead of saving, avoiding effort instead of building discipline. But when you begin to think long-term, your priorities change. You become more willing to invest time and energy into things that may not pay off immediately, but will create lasting results. This transformation does not happen overnight. It requires patience, consistency, and self-awareness. There will be moments when old habits try to pull you back, when doubt creeps in, or when progress feels slow. But if you remain committed to improving your thinking, those moments will pass, and your new mindset will grow stronger. Ultimately, your financial life is a reflection of your internal world. When you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you begin to change your results. The journey to wealth is not just about earning more, it's about becoming more. And that process always starts in the mind. Your income and your life are a reflection of who you are becoming. It's a simple principle, yet it's one that most people overlook. People often focus on external circumstances, hoping that a raise, a new job, or a lucky break will suddenly transform their financial situation. But true, lasting change comes from personal development. You cannot outperform your own level of growth. The marketplace, the opportunities, the wealth available to you, all of it, responds to the value you bring, not just your effort or time. Think about it this way. Every skill you develop, every lesson you learn, and every habit you cultivate increases your capacity to contribute. And the more you can contribute, the more you are rewarded. Money, recognition, and opportunity are all signals of the value you are providing. If you remain stagnant, if you stop learning, and if you avoid pushing your limits, your income will mirror that stagnation. But if you commit to improving yourself continuously, your earning potential expands naturally. The journey of personal development starts with knowledge. Reading, studying, and observing the right examples help you understand how the world works. Knowledge alone, however, is not enough. It must be applied. If you read books but never implement what you learn, your personal growth remains theoretical and your results remain unchanged. Application turns knowledge into skill, skill into competence, and competence into influence. Influence is the currency of value in today's world, and the more influence you have, the more doors open for you. It's also critical to understand that personal development is multidimensional. Growth in one area of life often supports growth in others. Developing communication skills, for example, enhances your relationships and your ability to sell ideas or products. Building financial literacy helps you manage resources effectively and creates confidence in decision-making. Cultivating emotional intelligence strengthens leadership and teamwork, which often translates into higher responsibility and reward. By consistently investing in yourself across multiple dimensions, you become a person who can generate value in ways that others cannot. Discipline is a cornerstone of this growth. Developing yourself requires daily effort, and that effort is not always glamorous or comfortable. It's the small, consistent actions, waking up early, dedicating time to learning, setting goals because they add up to make a difference, and following through that compound over time into significant change. You cannot expect a life of abundance if you are unwilling to invest in your growth regularly. True development is measured in habits, not intentions. Another aspect of personal development is self-reflection. You must be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. Growth requires acknowledging where you fall short and taking deliberate steps to improve. Ignoring your weaknesses or pretending they do not exist only limits your ability to create value. By confronting these areas and actively seeking improvement, you increase not just your capabilities, but also your confidence and resilience. Mentorship and guidance are also critical components of development. Surrounding yourself with people who have achieved what you desire accelerates your learning curve. They can provide perspective, insight, and feedback that you might not gain on your own. Learning from the experiences of others helps you avoid unnecessary mistakes and make more strategic decisions, which enhances your overall value. Personal development is not just about skill accumulation, it's also about mindset cultivation. How you think about challenges, failures, and opportunities shapes your actions. A person committed to growth sees setbacks as lessons, not as reasons to quit. They embrace challenges as opportunities to develop new skills. This mindset ensures that your growth continues even in difficult circumstances, and it allows you to consistently add value no matter what life throws at you. Time management is another critical factor in personal development. Your ability to prioritize learning, growth, and meaningful work over distractions directly influences how quickly and effectively you develop. People who fail to manage their time effectively often stall in their personal and financial progress because their energy is spent on trivial or unproductive activities. Growth requires intentionality, and every day is an opportunity to invest in yourself. Ultimately, your income will rarely exceed the level of your personal development. If you want to earn more, achieve more, or create more impact, you must first become more. This requires a commitment to lifelong learning, consistent effort, and the courage to step outside your comfort zone. The world rewards those who bring value, and the most sustainable way to increase your value is through deliberate, continuous personal growth. Remember, personal development is a journey without a finish line. There is always a new skill to learn, a new perspective to consider, or a new habit to develop. Those who understand this principle recognize that every investment in themselves compounds over time, producing results far greater than what could be achieved through effort alone. By prioritizing growth, you position yourself not just to earn more, but to live a life of purpose, impact, and financial freedom. The bottom line is simple. Your income and opportunities are not accidents. They are a reflection of the person you are becoming. Focus on growth, value creation, and self-improvement, and the financial and life results will naturally follow. Success is rarely the result of a single grand effort. Instead, it is the outcome of consistent, disciplined actions carried out over time. Habits are the building blocks of your life, and daily routines determine whether you rise or remain stagnant. People often underestimate the power of small, repeated choices. They look for quick fixes, instant results, or shortcuts to wealth and success, but real achievement comes from persistence and steady progress. The way you structure your days, the choices you make when no one is watching, and the priorities you set in your routine all of these contribute far more to your future than sporadic bursts of effort. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, even the clearest vision remains unrealized. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It is about training yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It is about acting in alignment with your long-term objectives rather than succumbing to immediate comfort or distraction. Many people talk about wanting success, but when it comes to putting in the consistent effort required day after day, they falter. The difference between those who achieve and those who do not is often the willingness to embrace discipline in the small, seemingly insignificant tasks that others neglect. Time is the most valuable resource you have, yet it is often squandered. Every minute you spend mindlessly scrolling, procrastinating, or avoiding responsibility is a minute lost from building your future. Habits are formed in these tiny moments, and each choice compounds over time. A person who dedicates just 1 hour a day to learning a new skill, improving health, or building a business accumulates tremendous progress over months and years. Conversely, a person who wastes that same hour daily drifts further from their potential. The principle is simple. Your life is a reflection of what you consistently do, not what you occasionally attempt. Responsibility is another essential aspect of building effective habits. It is easy to blame circumstances, other people, or external conditions for where you are. But true success comes from owning your actions and outcomes. When you take responsibility for every choice, you regain control over your life. You stop waiting for external conditions to improve and begin focusing on what you can change: your effort, your discipline, and your habits. Those who embrace responsibility build momentum because they no longer spend energy complaining, they spend it improving themselves. One of the most overlooked elements of habit and discipline is patience. Most people give up too soon because they are seeking immediate results. They plant a seed but expect a tree to grow overnight. Discipline is about understanding that growth takes time. It is about showing up consistently, even when progress is not yet visible. Every act of preparation, every hour spent learning, every small step toward your goal is a deposit in your future. The compounding effect of disciplined action is what separates extraordinary lives from ordinary ones. It's also important to recognize that habits are not just about action, they shape your mindset and character. When you consistently practice discipline, you develop confidence, resilience, and focus. You begin to trust yourself to follow through on commitments, and that self-trust becomes the foundation for larger achievements. Your habits shape your identity. If you are consistent in small, meaningful actions, you start seeing yourself as someone who achieves, someone capable, someone committed. That identity reinforces your actions, creating a cycle of growth and success. Avoiding procrastination is a vital part of building disciplined habits. The tendency to put off important tasks in favor of immediate comfort is a silent thief of progress. Each delay erodes momentum, creates unnecessary stress, and limits your potential. Successful people understand that taking action, even imperfect action, is more powerful than waiting for the perfect moment. Momentum is created through repeated action, and once it builds, it becomes easier to maintain. Your environment also influences the formation of habits. Surrounding yourself with people who value discipline, learning, and growth naturally encourages you to adopt similar behaviors. Conversely, if you are constantly exposed to distraction, negativity, or complacency, even strong, intentions can falter. Being intentional about your environment, what you read, who you associate with, and how you structure your day supports the development of productive routines. The ultimate lesson is that success is not magic, it is methodical. Daily habits, repeated over time, shape your future. The wealthy, the accomplished, and the fulfilled are not simply luckier, they are more consistent. They understand that discipline is the engine of progress, that small choices compound, and that effort invested today will produce results tomorrow. They focus on what they can control, their actions, their decisions, and their habits. By committing to disciplined daily effort, you take control of your destiny. You stop drifting and start directing your life with intention. Every small action aligned with your goals strengthens your position, builds momentum, and moves you closer to the life you desire. There is no shortcut around this principle. Habits, discipline, and responsibility are the true architects of success. And the sooner you embrace them, the sooner you stop living by chance and start living by design. Your future is not determined by luck, by external circumstances, or by fleeting motivation. It is determined by what you do consistently. What you practice daily, no matter how small, compounds into your ultimate results. Those who succeed understand this and take deliberate, disciplined action each day, knowing that excellence is built one step at a time. And as you embrace this, you begin to see that every moment is an opportunity to shape your life, to develop your potential, and to move closer to the success you seek. Earning money is only one part of building a life of abundance. True prosperity requires more than income. It demands financial intelligence, the ability to manage resources wisely, and the discipline to grow what you earn. Many people focus entirely on making more money, but without understanding how to handle it, their efforts are wasted. They earn, spend, and then wonder why they remain in the same position. Wealth is not just about income, it's about control, strategy, and foresight. Learning to manage money effectively is as important as learning to earn it. The first principle of financial intelligence is awareness. You must know exactly where your money is going. Every dollar has a purpose, whether it is working for you or against you. By tracking your spending, you gain insight into patterns that may be holding you back. It is often the small, repeated expenses that accumulate into significant leaks in your financial life. Awareness allows you to make conscious decisions, rather than letting habits or emotions dictate your financial future. Budgeting is not a limitation, that is freedom. It is a roadmap that ensures your money aligns with your goals. When you control your money, you remove the stress, uncertainty, and wasted opportunities that come from financial chaos. By setting clear priorities, allocating funds for essentials, savings, investments, and personal growth, you'll begin to use your income as a tool to build the life you want. Every choice becomes intentional, and every dollar becomes a soldier working for your future. Saving is the foundation of financial security. It is the habit that ensures you are prepared for unexpected events and can take advantage of opportunities as they arise. Saving is not about deprivation, it is about planning for growth. Even small, consistent contributions compound over time, creating a safety net and building a sense of confidence. Without savings, financial progress is fragile. With it, you gain stability and the ability to make strategic decisions rather than reactive ones. Investing is the next step. Money that simply sits without purpose does not generate growth. Investing allows you to put your resources to work, creating multiple streams of income and expanding your financial potential. This does not mean chasing risky schemes or hoping for luck. It means making informed, deliberate decisions that increase your value over time. Investments can take many forms: education, business opportunities, stocks, real estate, or even developing skills that increase your earning potential. Each decision should be guided by knowledge and careful consideration rather than impulse. Spending wisely is equally crucial. Emotional or impulsive purchases erode financial progress, no matter how much you earn. Financial intelligence is about distinguishing between wants and needs, between fleeting pleasure and long-term gain. It is about delaying gratification to create larger rewards in the future. The ability to control impulses, resist unnecessary debt, and make intentional choices turns your income into a powerful tool rather than a fleeting resource. Debt management is another critical aspect of financial literacy. Not all debt is bad, but uncontrolled debt can quickly become a burden. Learning to manage debt responsibly, using it strategically, when necessary, and avoiding unnecessary liabilities ensures that your financial growth is not sabotaged by poor decisions. Financial intelligence equips you to make these choices thoughtfully, reducing stress and increasing freedom. Mindset plays a central role in managing wealth. Many people earn a significant income yet remain poor because of limiting beliefs, fear, or lack of discipline. The truly wealthy think differently. They see money as a tool to create opportunities, solve problems, and build value. They understand that earning more is only meaningful if it is paired with the ability to retain and grow it. Your mindset shapes how you spend, save, and invest. By cultivating a mindset of abundance, responsibility, and foresight, you create the conditions for lasting prosperity. Education is an ongoing requirement. The world of finance, business, and investing is constantly evolving. What works today may not work tomorrow. To remain financially intelligent, you must continue to learn, adapt, and expand your understanding. Those who stop learning about money, strategy, and opportunity often find themselves left behind, regardless of how much they earn. Continuous learning ensures that your decisions remain effective and aligned with long-term goals. Generosity and giving also play an important role in financial growth. Those who understand wealth realize that it is not solely for accumulation, but for contribution. Sharing resources, helping others, and investing in causes or people not only brings fulfillment, but also builds networks, trust, and influence that can create additional opportunities. Generosity, when balanced with discipline, multiplies the impact of your resources. Ultimately, financial intelligence transforms money from a fleeting resource into a strategic tool. Income without management is like water in a sieve. It flows in, but it also flows out. By controlling your spending, saving wisely, investing strategically, and continuously learning, you turn money into leverage that can build security, opportunity, and freedom. Wealth, therefore, is not just what you earn, it is what you keep, how you grow it, and how you use it to create a life aligned with your vision. The bottom line is this: financial freedom does not happen by accident. It requires knowledge, discipline, and intentional action. By cultivating financial intelligence, you ensure that every effort, every hour worked, and every dollar earned is working toward your long-term goals. The principles of managing, growing, and using money wisely are not complicated, they are consistent. And those who embrace them not only stop being poor, but begin to live a life of true abundance, control, and opportunity. In the end, transforming your life from poverty to prosperity is not about luck or external circumstances. It is about the choices you make, the habits you cultivate, and the knowledge you apply. Your mindset shapes your actions. Your personal growth determines your value. Your discipline compounds through daily habits. And your financial intelligence ensures that what you earn works for you rather than against you. Each of these elements is interconnected. Changing one without the others will only produce partial results. True, lasting success comes when you take full ownership of your thinking, commit to continual self-improvement, act with consistent discipline, and manage your resources wisely. By embracing these principles, you reclaim control over your life, unlock your potential, and create a future defined not by limitations but by opportunity and growth. Poverty is not a sentence, it is a habit, a set of choices that can be changed. When you choose to grow, to act, and to think strategically, you step into a life of abundance, purpose, and empowerment. The journey requires effort, patience, and commitment, but the rewards are profound. A life where you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance, a life where you shape your destiny, and a life where your potential finally aligns with your results. Success is available to anyone willing to do the work, embrace growth, and make disciplined, intelligent choices every day. The door is open, step through it, and stop being poor in every sense of the word.